Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, today we're really cutting through the noise around securing your AWS cloud.
Mm,
The cloud gives you amazing flexibility, right? But that means you absolutely need solid defenses. So we're diving into two really fundamental and honestly free virtual firewalls. They might seem basic, but trust me, they're the bedrock. Security groups and network access control lists. NACLs for short. Our mission: to help you actually use them right. Because if you misunderstand them, they can be a huge headache. But get them right. They're your best friend for protecting your data. Let's unpack this.
absolutely. And yeah, to really get them right, you first need to understand their separate jobs. Think of a security group, maybe like a dedicated security guard right at the door of one specific building. Say your EC2 instance, that's your virtual server in AWS.
Hmm?
It controls who gets into that specific
That's
server.
the instance level. Got it.
Exactly. Then you've got the NACL, that's more like a big gate at the entrance to the whole neighborhood. It controls traffic for everything inside that subnet, that whole network segment.
Love those analogies. Okay, so the security guard at the building door and the neighborhood gate. Let's focus on that security guard first, the security group. What's really key to understand about how it filters the traffic?
Well, the big thing, it's kind of fascinating actually, is that security groups are stateful.
Stateful. Okay, what does that mean in practice?
It's a game changer. It means if you let traffic in, the response traffic going back out is automatically allowed. You don't need a second rule for the reply. The security group, it sort of remembers the conversation, the connection state.
Okay. And that ties into the defaults, right? I heard they're pretty open going out by default, like everything's allowed out.
Mm.
But coming in, it's locked down tight. Is that right? What does that mean if I'm, say, setting up a web server?
You're spot on. By default, nothing gets in. Deny all inbound. So for your web server example, you'd have to add a rule. You explicitly say, allow HTTP traffic, that's port 80, from anywhere, so people can see your website. But for something like secure admin access, SSH, on port 22, you'd lock that down. You'd probably say, only allow SSH from our office IP address. Much tighter control.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That makes sense for that fine-grained instance level control. So if the security group is the personal guard,
Yeah.
what about the neighborhood gate, the NACL? You said it's different. How so? I think you mentioned something about stateless.
Precisely. NACLs are stateless, and this is super important and where a lot of confusion happens. Stateless means you have to explicitly allow traffic in both directions, separately. If traffic comes in, you need an inbound rule. For the reply to go out, you need a separate outbound rule. It doesn't remember the connection like this security group does. Oh, and they work with numbered rules, processed in order. Lowest number first.
Numbered rules. So like if rule 100 allows something but rule 200 denies it, rule 100 wins if the traffic matches that first.
Exactly. First match wins. That's it.
Okay. And what about those ephemeral ports? I hear those can really trip people up with NACLs.
Yeah, that's a classic gotcha. Because it's stateless, right? So your server sends a request out to maybe some API. You need an outbound rule for that API's port, let's say port 443 for HTTPS. But when the API sends the reply back, it comes back to a random high-numbered port on your server, the ephemeral port. Usually, something between 1024 and 65535. If you don't have an inbound rule on the NACL allowing traffic back on those high ports, the reply gets dropped. Dead silence. It's super common. The request gets out fine, but the answer can't get back in past the NACL gate.
Wow. Okay. That's a key difference.
Yeah.
So they sound quite different. What does this all mean when they work together? How do these two layers, the guard and the gate, combine? Why not just use one or the other?
Well, that's the beauty of layered defense. Traffic has to pass both. It needs approval from the neighborhood gate, the NACL, and the building guard, the security group. The security groups give you that really specific instance-level control. Think of it like an allow list for your server, perfect for application needs. NACLs give you the brighter strokes subnet-level control. They're great for things like blocking known bad IP addresses for the whole subnet, like a deny list at the network edge.
So the NACL says who can even enter the neighborhood, and then the security group checks who can enter a specific building.
Exactly that. The NACL checks everyone coming into the area of the subnet. Then the security group checks visitors trying to get into that specific office, the EC2 instance. Both have to say yes. And it's not just security, it's also key for troubleshooting. If something can't connect, you know where to look first. Check the big gate, NACL, then check the specific door, security group.
That makes so much sense. Understanding these two isn't just ticking boxes then. It really gives you practical control over your cloud security and makes fixing things easier.
It really does. Understanding security groups and NACLs, it truly empowers you. You get to design security that's robust, meets compliance needs, but is still flexible enough to change as your applications evolve. It puts you in the driver's seat to build your own secure cloud environment, knowing your apps and data are properly protected.